We've had the opportunity to go on about 100 international training trips to almost 40 countries. And there have been some pretty amazing experiences. And as you can imagine, we've made a good number of mistakes along the way. But we hope that you'll be able to learn from our mistakes as you travel and serve in the name of Jesus. As we arrived in our host home in Moldova, a very gracious couple showed us to our room for the next 3 days. There would be three of us staying in the main bedroom, while the parents joined their children in a smaller room. The plan was that all three of us, our local translator pastor, another U.S. children's pastor, and I, would all sleep in the one full-size bed. It's fairly typical in most other parts of the world to have more than one person in a bed, so we didn't think anything about it. Except that the other pastor with me was not about to share a bed with anyone. Absolutely not. I'd rather just sleep on the floor. And so he took a small pillow and a little blanket and he curled up on the hard floor. And that might have been fine for him, but the host family was completely embarrassed. They had offered their own bedroom to their guests, but it wasn't good enough. Had they done something wrong? They couldn't have a guest sleep on the floor. Something had to be done. And so they pulled the mattress from one of the children's bed and they brought it into the room and placed it on the floor for their guest. That meant that they had one less mattress for the four of them to share, but at least the Americans had comfortable places to sleep. I was embarrassed as well. But at that point, there wasn't much to do to correct the situation. We will not always be comfortable, and our personal space may be invaded a bit, but there are other things that are much more important in those moments. We had the opportunity to do some training for children's leaders in the underground church in China. There were over 120 Chinese believers who, during the night, had secretly arrived at a farmhouse in a very remote area of the country. We lived together for almost 5 days without going outside. We never left outside the walls of that farmhouse, since it was an unauthorized training meeting. And we were training believers to reach and teach children. Being with these godly and passionate brothers and sisters was easily one of the most inspirational times in my ministry life. For these believers, it was worth it. The mission to reach a generation of children was essential for the growth of the kingdom. They were willing to sit on rice bags during the meetings, shoulder to shoulder, for hours to receive training. They ate simply, they worshiped hard, and they prayed loud. There was no indoor plumbing, only a hose that they used to wash up and fill pots. They slept wherever they could find a place, some on the floor, others in a closet, and many of them were on the roof. The Chinese pastor, who was the translator, he and I slept together on a wooden door laid across two sawhorses covered with a sleeping mat. No one got special treatment. We were all in this together. Modesty and comfort had to be sacrificed for the good of the mission. In 2 Corinthians 8:13 and 14, it says, "Our desire is not that others might be relieved while you are hard pressed, but that there might be equality. At the present time, your plenty will supply what they need, so that in turn, their plenty will supply what you need. The goal is equality," Paul says. See, Paul is reminding us that we are now members of one body, fellow laborers, and equal partners in ministry. Sometimes we're We are going to be the ones giving the help to another person, and the next time they are going to be the ones giving help to us. But our attitude needs to be one of equality and showing the same value for one another. We can't insist on what's best for me or what's most comfortable for me, no matter what it costs you. We are learning to lay down our personal rights and preferences in order to serve another and do what's good for them as well. Here's something to think about. Share about a time when you found yourself in a too close for comfort kind of situation. How did it make you feel? And how did you respond in that situation? What are some of the factors to remember or to consider as you evaluate what to do in an uncomfortable situation and you think about how to respond? We hope that you'll keep on learning from our mistakes and keep on traveling, taking the good news with you wherever you go.